Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, Kern High School District, and AC Electric Company, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Hey, a little math in the real world. I know it's my favorite part of the show, and I'm sure it's your favorite part of the show as well. We're here today at the Department of Weights and Measures in Bakersfield, and they do all kinds of amazing things having to do with math. And so we want to talk with some folks that are here. And Lawrence, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate you taking our time. And Arnold, all right, man. Hey, can you guys tell us a little bit about what happens in this building? Because there's a lot I've already learned about what goes on behind the scenes at the Department of Weight and Measures.
Right, so in this building alone, we do a lot of the testing for submeters. Okay. So we do testing for water meters, electric meters. We do vapor meters as well, which, as you can see here, this is a vapor meter. Okay. So this is the part of the building where we do all that testing. Right. And we have a lot of our standards here as well for out in the field testing. So we keep all that, located right here in this building. So we're going to show you a little bit today of.
Yeah, definitely. So things that measure the amount of something here in town that has to be regulated, right? And we have to make sure that those instruments that are used to measure are up to date and you're working correctly, right? And so you all go and take a look at those instruments and make sure they're working like the way they say they are,
yeah,
right?
Anything commercially. So anything commercially measured or weighed, we want to make sure those devices are reading accurately. Right. So that way everything's fair. The consumer is being protected and they're getting exactly what they're paying for.
You're consumer protectors. Yes, I like it. We appreciate you guys. Okay, so one of the things that I really wanted to see here is the one that we have over here. We want to see if this meter has a leak in it, right?
Yeah, so the first thing we do before we could do any sort of testing is we want to make sure there's no leaks in here because if it does, then obviously our testing is going to be wrong. As you can see here, there's a 1997 seal.
Oh, there you go. That's your seal. When it's certified, you put a seal on there.
Yes, that was the last time it was tested. So these have a frequency of 10 years. So this is out of its, period of certification, so that's why they brought it back to us so we can get it, recertified.
Right, and this is a gas meter?
This is a gas meter. So what we do here, so it's already loaded into our clamp. So what we'll do here is just raise the bowl, and we have a bucket of water here, and we'll just test for leaks. So we run some water through it.
And so the way you can test for leaks here is you put it underwater, and if there's a leak, what happens?
So if there's a leak, you'll see a bunch of air shooting out because we have a line of air running through it.
So if you take a look right here, this is the dial right here that will spin the actual meter reading.
All right.
As you can see, there is bubble leaking from that little area.
That's not a good thing.
That is not a good thing. So right now, this meter right here would be a fail.
Okay.
So that's one area. We can turn the actual meter around.
Oh, you can spin it around. Okay,
take a look. If there is a leak anywhere else, it's most likely going to happen wherever there's a seal right here.
Right, where the gasket is, yeah.
Sometimes there are punctures, so sometimes at the bottom right here. But right now, everything else is good, but like I said, it failed because there's a little leak right there.
Now, does whoever owns this meter, are they allowed to go fix it and bring it back, or do they just get a whole new meter?
It is going to be up to them. Okay. So they could go find somebody to go fix it. However, depending on the cost, it's probably cheaper just to get a whole new one. But it's going to be up to them.
Okay, so this is testing gas meter for leaks. Mm-hmm. All right, now what about over here in the next station in this part of the lab? What are we testing for over here?
Right, so this is a slow test. So we run a low amount of air through this. We give it about an hour. Okay. So it just runs through it, and then at the end of the hour, we just look to make sure that it registers some sort of air passage going through it.
Okay. Simulating the gas going through it.
Yeah, simulating just a pilot light going, amount of gas through a
Right.
pilot light. So.
Right. And are you also regulating how much air goes through so you know what the meter should do, or are you just seeing if it actually registers at all?
Just registers at all.
Okay.
We're not necessarily measuring how much it registers. We're just looking for a register.
Right.
And that's just the second phase of the test.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And we have one more thing to look at because we've got to make sure that the amount you put through
Yes.
is correct, all right?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. We have some more standards to take a look at. And of course, we really want to know what this big old copper bin is, right?
So this device right here is what we call a bell prover.
Okay.
And it's called a bell prover is because this thing right here, the cylinder is actually hollow, and it's
Alright.
actually submerged in oil. So
In oil?
Yeah, in
Alright.
oil. So basically, it creates a pocket of air right here.
Okay.
And this is what we call like our standard. So we have to test 2 cubic feet on this device right here.
Okay.
So we're gonna measure 2 cubic feet, and we're gonna compare what 2 cubic feet from here to what it says on here.
Okay.
So just to demonstrate, we would open the valve, open this guy up, and we'll just let it go by. And basically, you see as this thing sinks right now, air is passing through here, through this device, and throughout here.
So there was exactly 2 cubic feet of air in there.
At one point, yes.
Okay.
But this is just to demonstrate. So,
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so it'll take some time to actually read 2 cubic feet. But we'll pause it, we'll stop it, and then we'll see what the revolution is. So right here, let's just say it hit the mark already,
Yeah.
and then we'll compare it to over there, and then we'll see that it actually has only 1 cubic feet passes through.
Okay.
But this was just to we stopped halfway through.
Right.
But yeah, that's how we would compare.
Right.
If it passes, there's a certain tolerance there has to be.
Yeah.
But that's all we have to do. And then once it passes this last test, we sticker it, seal it, and it's good to go. And the owner of the park can come pick it up.
Gotcha. I love it. Keeping us from getting ripped off. That's what we like to see. I always tell my students the same thing. You know what? If you learn math, you won't get ripped off. And we appreciate what these guys do for us. We're back with a little math of the real world, back at the Department of Weights and Measure, here talking with Arnold and Lawrence. And gentlemen, I know that what you do is so important to keep us from getting ripped off. And the place I see your sticker is always on a gasoline pump, right?
Yes.
And so I really want to know how you certify those pumps to make sure they are pumping exactly what they say. And this is the way we do it, right?
Yes, this is the way we do it. We have these trailers that we go out and we take to the stations.
Okay.
So we just pull up like you would normally would, like if you were going to pump fuel. We test 87, 89, 91.
Okay, that's the different octanes. All right.
Yes, we test all the different octanes because each octane has a separate meter. So they all run on separate meters, so it could be possible that an 87 octane meter will pass, but an 89 octane meter won't pass.
So you have to test every single one when
Yes.
you go to a gas station.
Yes, we have to,
single
including the
meter.
diesel as well.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So we'll just pull up, pump 5 gallons. This little indicator shows us where the 5 gallon mark would be. So at the 0 marker, it would that would be 5 gallons.
Okay.
If it's a little under, that means it's under registering, so you're not getting as much fuel as you should be.
Right.
If it's over registering and it goes above the 0, you're getting a little bit more fuel than what you're paying
The
for.
store's happy that you told them because then they can adjust it, right? So
Yes,
they're not losing money.
Exactly. Either way, if it's under registering, in that case, we would red tag it out and not allow the public to use it anymore.
Right.
Because again, we want to protect the consumers. If it's over registering, we let the station know, and we have them fix it within 30 days.
Okay.
So they have 30 days to fix it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering too. So they get a chance to fix it, and then you guys can come back out and test one more time to certify them and say that you can now sell gas again.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
The service agent that does fix it, they do have the authority to place it back into service.
Okay.
And then we will go back out there and check their work and make sure that they did actually fix it.
So it really is an oversight of what you do, right?
Yeah.
You are not the people who go out and change everything and fix everything.
No.
You just make sure the people who change and fix things are doing their job.
Yep, exactly.
What
That's
an
what we want.
interesting spot, and hence the badges, right? So
Yeah.
you got to be official when you're out there, and they have to know that you are certified, right? And that you know what you're talking about, and you also have some authority as well, right? Yeah.
we
So
have-
tell us a little bit about your training. Like, what kind of training do you do that you are an employee of the state? Is that right?
County.
The county.
County.
Employee of the county, and you have to go through some specific training in order to be certified to do what you do.
Yeah, so essentially, if you want to be part of weights and measures, obviously we do a lot of math here.
Right.
So we Lawrence here and myself, we have a science degree majors.
Oh, okay.
I have a molecular cell biology, kind of off-putting here,
Right.
but there is a lot of math involved with that.
Sure.
But if you want to come work at Weights and Measures, I definitely advise you to go check out the Kern County website.
Okay.
They will have a lot of descriptions of the requirement to work here.
Yeah.
Right.
Another thing too, as well, is we do have state licenses.
Okay.
So
So tell us
CDFA,
about that, yeah.
so CDFA does issue the license to do weights and measures activity. So there's a weighing verification, measuring verification, and the product verification. So we go through a testing process in order to obtain our licenses to be able to regulate this sort of thing. So that's what we do as far as what the state is concerned. They do issue those to us, and we've each taken and passed those.
That totally makes sense.
tests.
Now, in Kern County, how many people do your job in your position?
Right. So I believe right now we have 6 inspectors and,
Okay.
and 2 technicians.
Okay. And you have plenty of work for those 6 people, right?
A lot of work.
Yeah. And we cover the entire county. So we cover
Right.
from Arvin, Lamont, all the way up to Lost Hills, Ridgecrest,
Fraser Park.
Mojave, all the desert area. We all have our own separate areas, and we split our duties, responsibilities, and all the devices and that.
I think we have about 20,000 devices.
Wow. Yeah. And so every single gas pump that we see here in Kern County has been certified by either this trailer or this trailer.
Or one of us.
Or one of you. That's
We
it.
could have been out there and done the inspection and certified it.
There
yes.
you go. Wow, they've all been inspected. That's so cool. And you get the fancy sticker to make sure we all know that it's been inspected. All right, so we have just a little bit more. There's so much going on out here at the Department of Weight and Measures, and we want to come back and make sure that we get an even bigger picture of the things that they get a chance to regulate. So we're back here one more time. Department of Weights and Measure, and we want to make sure that we know, at least get a better picture of what really is going on out here. Arnold and Lawrence, gentlemen, we really want to know what this contraption is because this really caught my eye. We already looked a little bit about meters for natural gas, and we looked a little bit at how you certify gasoline meters. These are water meters, right?
These are water sub meters,
Okay.
yes.
Gotcha. So what's going to go on here at this station?
All right, so basically what we've assembled here is our test bench, and what we're trying to replicate is just the flow of water, like if this was plugged into your residence,
Okay.
Whether it be apartment, mobile home park, RV park, whatever the space number is, right?
Right.
So we're just kind of simulating that right here, and then depending on how much water would be running through it, we measure at different flow rates. Obviously we'll be testing at a higher flow rate when we do test at a higher quantity. So this is a prover that we would be testing at 50 gallons. And this is our prover that we'd be testing at 10 gallons. So basically what that means is we run 50 gallons of water through these meters and determine whether or not they're reading accurately. And then again, we would do the same thing with the 10-gallon prover, and these are just our standards. So these have been certified by the state, and these let us know that this is going to be 10 gallons.
Right.
So we use this to certify these meters and
And you
determine.
can certify all of them at the same time.
Yes, we
In
do.
series, right?
Yes, that is correct. We do 4 at a time, just because this is the way our bench is set up. If we wanted to do lower amount of meters, if let's say for instance we wanted to test 1 meter, we would just put this little contraption here. So instead of a meter, we would just have this little bar to allow water to pass through.
And it would flow right through, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So water goes from the beginning to the end. The meters register how much water is going through, and then it goes through again, right? I mean,
Yes.
like you recycle the water, right? Same
Yes,
old water.
we do. We conserve water here at the Department of Weights and Measures. So we have our pump systems down here. So this pump would be the one that we would pump back into this large storage tank.
Okay.
So that holds 125 gallons of water.
Right.
So we try to keep that at least 3/4 full because we don't want to obviously overflow it, but we want to have enough water to run our tests.
Right, right. Now here's one of the most interesting parts that I thought anyway, and because you make sure that everyone else is following the law. You
Yes.
make sure that their instruments are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Who makes sure your instruments are doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? Someone has to certify you and make sure this is really 10 gallons and 50 gallons.
Right. So yeah, all of these equipments, the same rules applies to us. So the state will actually come and certify these devices.
Okay.
You know, for these equipments right here, they'll come to us. Obviously, we can't move this heavy item to, in this place, Sacramento, to get it tested.
Right.
We do have other weights that we do get certified. So we have weights. So we have 50-pound weights that we use for grocery scales or for like platform scale, like at recycle centers. Those need to be certified as well.
Okay.
You know, I believe, you know, I would say we take all of our equipment up to Sacramento.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Sacramento
yeah.
the state-run agency up there is going to make sure you
Correct.
all are
Yes.
all lined
Yeah.
up and dialed in and whatever else it is. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What is the most interesting thing to you, anyway, that you measure here in Kern County? So we kind of did some generic stuff, right? We got some meters and whatever else, but now you're talking about scales, and now you're talking about, I mean, your range is really wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, another range that people kind of forget that's our responsibility is price verification. We will go out, and I know we don't have a scanner ordinance necessarily in this county, but we still will go out if we get a complaint saying that there's a pricing issue. Say that it was marked at $5, but they were charged $6. So we'll go out and we will do either an undercover sale, we'll do a price audit on the store and make sure that they are charging the correct prices. So
That's you guys
yeah,
too.
we do that as well.
Wow, okay. What do you think?
I think the most interesting thing that we test here is probably for oil.
Okay.
So like motor oil or hydraulic fluid. That right there involves math, but also a lot of chemistry. Oil, you know, tends to expand or shrink depending on the temperature. So we have to calculate the coefficient of expansion, and we also have to take the weight involved as well. And so that is probably one of the one of the hardest things that we test here, but it's also kind of like the funnest thing as well.
Oh, I like it.
So,
Okay, there you go.
yeah.
And it's Kern County. You have to deal with
Yeah.
water, and you have to deal with oil. That's just part of the deal. Learned so much today. Gentlemen, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate you being able to chat with us. I know there's a whole lot more that goes on here because every time I ask a question, like, oh yeah, we do that too. So we'll learn a little bit more next time, I'm sure.